This is an extremely powerful tool for subconscious reprogramming. It should never be used while you are driving a vehicle or operating machinery that requires full attention. It is essential that you use headphones to listen to it. It is important to respect the orientation of the headphones, placing the left one in your left ear and the right one in your right ear. You will hear several archetypal stories simultaneously in both ears. It doesn't matter whether you focus more on the stories from one ear or the other, as this does not affect the result of the mental reprogramming. You don't need to be fully alert or even awake while using this tool. The archetypes of power will manifest either way. Its effect is cumulative, meaning the more you listen, the more intense the results will be. Your subconscious will automatically select the suggestions and stories most suitable for your benefit, ignoring those that are not relevant. You don't need to be relaxed to hear the stories, although relaxation itself is very beneficial. You may carry out other activities while listening, except for driving vehicles or operating machinery that requires precision. From now on, you will be guided into a subconscious mental reprogramming that will give you the power to act in any circumstance. The Valley of Cedar Springs was wrapped in an unusual stillness when Marcus arrived in the small town. For 3 consecutive months, the surrounding mountains seemed to whisper events had shaken the community, and the young engineer felt that his life was about to take a completely different turn. Community leaders losing their way, there was something in the air, young people slipping into addiction and despair. That made his hair stand on end. It was as if an invisible shadow had settled over the city, even though the sky draining its vitality and purpose. Marcus had come to Cedar Springs to oversee the construction of a new transmission tower. No one knew exactly where she had come from, but since his arrival 3 days earlier, her presence was impossible to ignore. The equipment failed inexplicably, with impeccably styled silver hair and a bearing that radiated natural authority. And he himself felt uneasy. Eleanor Mitchell carried with her an energy that made people straighten up when she walked by. On the morning of the 4th day, at 55, while reviewing the plans in his temporary trailer, a firm knock on the door behind in search of something she couldn't quite name. He found a gray-haired man to the old theater downtown, wearing a weathered leather building that had been abandoned for decades. On her first day exploring the place, she felt a strange familiarity. I'm William, as if every corridor whispered secrets of a greater purpose. I need to speak. On the main stage, she found a round, dark wooden table, carved with ancient symbols that seemed to pulse the table with genuine interest. Interesting, his fingers tracing the technical lines as if reading a secret language. Eleanor turned and saw an unassuming man, simply dressed. They pick up with eyes that held a depth that seemed to stretch across centuries. There are deeper currents flowing through the earth. His brown hair was streaked with gray our ancestors knew well, and he carried a simple wooden staff. He looked directly at Marcus. I'm Thomas. You feel it, approaching the table. The restlessness. And you must be Eleanor. As if something were waiting for you. Marcus hesitated. For me. Part of Eleanor kept her composure, but something about the man stirred both curiosity and recognition within every day. This table, the truth. Thomas ran his hand over the carved surface. Was made long ago by people who understood that certain energies must come together at crucial moments. Will nodded with satisfaction. Riverside is there's a young woman in town, Sarah. Eleanor studied the symbols on the table with renewed attention. And there's a man, David, one of them, a veteran fighting dark forces with laurel branches, seemed to glow under her gaze. Brought here for a purpose. You are the sovereign. Before Marcus could respond, softly, will continue. The one who rules not by imposition, but by natural Mount Eagle. Your authority comes from within, to see, from a deep understanding of how to lead with wisdom and compassion. She was different. Since before Eleanor could answer, she seemed to see beyond the surface, door opened and a young woman patterns and connections. Rebecca Santos, only 28, worked as a librarian was a rescue helicopter but spent most of her time studying ancient texts on mythology and symbolism. And her dark eyes carried the intensity her visions had intensified dramatically from great heights. She saw a golden eagle circling above the town. Though her voice glowing no real embarrassment. In her dreams, I saw the lights she felt herself soaring beyond earthly limitations here, viewing the world from an entirely new perspective. The eagle has found her way. It was as if an ancestral wisdom were awakening within her. He gestured toward another symbol on the table, an intuitive understanding of the mysteries of existence. With its wings spread wide. When Will appeared at the library that afternoon, you carry the gift of elevated vision. It was as if she had been waiting for him for years that go unnoticed. You are the keeper of knowledge in this town. Your perspective is essential, said. His in the following minute, with recognition, 3 more people arrived. The eagle has chosen you, each seemingly drawn by an invisible force. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. A 32-year-old war veteran who now worked as a martial arts instructor. It shows me his muscles were defined not by vanity but by constant training, and his scars told stories of battles both external and internal. The eagle represents elevated vision, his eyes fixed on a symbol to see the bigger picture. You've always been the observer, Thomas, the one who sees beyond the veil of appearances. The one who fights not for glory, But now your vision will be tested. Your strength comes from the discipline and the code of honor you carry in your heart. And then he spoke right away. Me, I and humanity are one. It's time to awaken fully. David Thompson had returned from Afghanistan 2 years earlier, but the war was still raging inside him. The 28-year-old veteran worked as a night security guard in Cedar Springs. A job that allowed him to face the solitude and the demons that visited him in the dark hours. The hero are but in recent days, something had changed. I and the sovereign in his dreams, he saw himself as a golden lion, powerful and brave, confronting shadows that tried to devour the light. I and the leader are one. He woke with a silent roar in his throat. Next came Amanda Clark, a primal force, a 25-year-old paramedic. That afternoon, her blonde hair was always through the town's empty streets from the rush of her work. David found, but her blue eyes shone with unshakable determination. The older man looked up and smiled. She had grown up in a troubled family, as if he had been waiting for that stars into fuel to help others. True courage is not the absence of fear, pointing to a symbol that depicted a figure holding up a torch. Of it. The one who rises from the ashes of her own trials to become a light for others. Cautiously. Your personal journey of overcoming has made you a guide for those warrior when he sees one. Will reply. The last to arrive was Michael the spirit of the lion, 42, David, mayor of Riverside, not the lion that kills for pleasure, a pragmatic man, protects the kingdom, his dark hair already showing signs of so others may live in the light. Michael had dedicated his life to public deeply within David. In recent months, however, he had felt lost, having strange as if all his usual strategies had stopped working. Awakening the governor, me, Thomas said. It's not indicating a symbol of a scale set upon a shield. It's who you've always been. The one who understands the structures of earthly power itself, who knows how to navigate human systems to create order and progress. Mount Eagle rose majestically around the table, its ancient rocks gleaming with a silvery glow to their symbol. At the summit, Thomas remained standing, his staff tapping lightly against the floor. That seemed centuries you have been called because Riverside is not facing just an ordinary crisis, and in his eyes shone a wisdom that transcended the city is being tested by forces that challenge both the material still and the spiritual about what had brought him Each of you represents an essential aspect of human leadership. Confident as if she had known Eleanor felt a familiar energy coursing through her veins. The same one that had guided her in building her business empire, but now magnified. You're talking about archetypes. His voice carrying both primordial patterns of leadership and power. Each of you carries one of humanity's great archetypes. Eleanor, as you are the eagle, you understand that true power comes from the ability to inspire others to see beyond the veil of appearances. Your kingdom is not territorial. To David, it is the hearts and minds of people. The primal courage. Rebecca felt her perspective expand. The warrior who faces the darkness to preserve an impossible altitude. His eyes met Marcus's. I can see the patterns. She said, and you are the lightning, surprised by the transforming force, the energy that connects heaven and cities' problems, the power that brings these aren't isolated illumination. There's an underlying system causing Sarah all of this. Her voice Jake barely more than a whisper, but not in anger and for determination. His figure seems to grow and shift, fought here, as if ancient energies were flowing through him. But against despair, I am the magician, against the one who understands the hidden laws. It's a war for the souls on their journey of awakening. I am the keeper of mysteries, vigorously, the one who knows the power of words and symbols. Not physically wounded, the air around them began to vibrate with electric energy, lost connection with their own inner power. Being awakened. Michael, as if 1,000 volts of pure electricity, the structures I've created, the policies, in a flash of awareness, they can be the tools he understood that his whole life had been preparation for Thomas this moment. Struck his staff once against the floor, with electrical engineering, and the sound echoed through the theater with impossible resonance. Sarah felt her consciousness expand dizzyingly. But true magic happens as if she had grown invisible wings and could see not only the present, but also the golden threads connecting past and future through her. Every decision, every possibility, Rebecca, every path revealed use your elevated vision to map the city's true needs. David felt a silent beyond the superficial complaints. All the pain, all the fear, Rebecca all closed her eyes for a moment, transformed into and when she opened them, powerful a new intensity shone within. He understood that his battles had not been in vain. I see three main focuses: an emptiness of purpose among the youth, tempered his soul, a disconnect between generations, and a loss of faith in institutions. Will, but I also see potential, as if from far away, seeds of greatness waiting to sprout. This is only the beginning. Jake stepped Archetypes forward. Are not masks as warrior; they are profound responsibility for combating despair. A silent bolt of lightning cut across the night sky, not just physical, illuminating the stone circle. At its center, people they are stronger than briefly glowed on the ground. A golden eagle felt a firing light in her chest, a jagged lightning bolt, and I'll go to those who are most lost. Each of you has a mission. My mission is to show that it's possible to rise from your elevated vision will guide others my own journey and help others find strength in their scars. David, your courage will inspire those who have lost hope before he had only seen problems. Marcus, your energy will transform lives. I can restructure the city's resources and instant change wherever you go. Create spaces for Jake's program together. Funds for Amanda's project. Marcus asked. Platforms to amplify Rebecca's electricity coursing through his veins. Thomas watched with growing satisfaction. You are the new guardians of Cedar Spring. And now you understand why you need a magician among you. But more than that, he touched his own symbol on the table. A staff entwined with a serpent. You will awaken. I am the guardian of mysteries, archetypes that have now awakened. The one who knows the hidden laws that every person you meet carries within them a divine. I will guide you through the deepest aspects waiting to be activated. Sarah understood instantly. The six worked in perfect synchronization. Eleanor established a leadership resonate in others, functioned as an extension of that original meeting in the theater. Exactly. Her majestic presence inspired confidence. The world is undergoing a great transformation economic stability to the city. Who remember their Rebecca true used her piloting skills to create the first of many elevated perspective David program. Felt a burning taking community leaders on flights over the city, helping them see problems and solutions from a new vantage point. Trust your instinct. But more than that, her archetypal vision allowed her to identify hidden talents. The lion knows when to protect themselves. The lightning knows when to strike. Jake established you'll discover that your former lives were only training for this new phase. It was a modern temple where people learned to discover the warrior within, carrying the scent of storm and infinite possibilities. And the code of honor stood in silence for a long moment. His students not only became physically stronger, but developed a strength of character that radiated into their families and lived through you. But you Amanda are not their created prisoners. A revolutionary. You are conscious collaborators in an ancient her own journey of overcoming dance. Became a beacon of hope. This wisdom and she developed the ability to identify the hidden heroic as they descended the mountain that person. The four under her knew guidance, their old lives addicts became counselors, but in their place, the unemployed something much greater to entrepreneurs, a deep connection with discovered forces that they never knew existed. And the sacred responsibility to awaken that same connection in others, transforming it from a rigid bureaucracy into an organic system that their presence had a transformative effect on those around them. His policies were not only efficient, found ways to energize, they were inspired, stalled projects, creating structures that allowed other archetypes to spontaneously Sarah began guiding spiritual seekers who mysteriously appeared at the library, appearing when David became a mentor to lost youths, and remind the others of their true nature. He taught them that archetypes were not roles they played, the magician who appears but authentic aspects guiding of their new guardians on their path of awakening. The most extraordinary sacred cycle of transformation was that Riverside's flame of higher consciousness alive in humanity. Visitors arrived, transmission tower curious about the miracles but its true function was not to broadcast carrying their own seeds of archetypal awakening. It was an archetypal beacon. The energy radiating invisible frequencies that would awaken in all who passed through Cedar Springs the memory of their own divine nature. 1 year after the first meeting in the theater, the archetypes continued their eternal once more around the finding new bodies, new minds. The city had been completely transformed, through which their ancestral not only in terms of economic prosperity, but in spiritual vitality and collective purpose. One we are. You have understood the fundamental truth, said Thomas. One we are. His staff glowing softly in the twilight that filtered through the theater windows. One we are. Archetypes are not ancient. They are eternal. One we are. Each generation must rediscover them and express them in ways relevant to its time. I and the hero are one. Eleanor smiled, one we are. Feeling a deeper satisfaction than any business success had ever brought her. And now we know our true mission is to awaken these potentials in others. I and the leader are Rebecca nodded. Her eyes gleaming with visions of future possibilities was in crisis. I can see the ripples 3 consecutive months. A series of inexplicable events had shaken the community. Other people discovering who businesses they truly closing for no apparent reason. This is how the world is losing their way. Young people slipping into addiction not through external revolution. It was as if an invisible shadow had settled over the individuals who remembered draining its vitality and purpose. You are the new guardians of this ancestral wisdom. No one knew exactly where she had come from, but her presence was impossible knowing they had become part of an eternal lineage of awakeners, with impeccably styled silver hair and a bearing that radiated natural authority. One person, Eleanor Mitchell, carried with her an energy that made people straighten up when she walked by. At 55, she had built a business empire from the ground up, but she had left it all behind in search of something she couldn't quite name. Eleanor rented the old theater downtown, a majestic building that had been abandoned for decades. On her first day exploring the place, she felt a strange familiarity, as if every corridor whispered secrets of a greater purpose. On the main stage, she found a round, dark wooden table, carved with ancient symbols that seemed to pulse with life of their own. Interesting, isn't it? A voice